Hello, English learners. Welcome back to the English Insight Podcast. This is your place to learn real English for real life, step by step, together. I'm Sarah, and I am so glad you are here with us today.
And I'm Daniel. And today's conversation is one of those topics that can genuinely change your life if you take it seriously.
Daniel, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about 5 skills that can completely change your future. Not small skills, not nice-to-have skills. Real skills that can affect your money, your confidence, your relationships, your career, and honestly, the direction of your whole life.
And the best part?
None of them require talent. None of them require luck. None of them require being born special.
They can be learned.
Exactly. Learned. Practiced. Built over time.
Which is good news, because I was definitely not born with all 5.
Same. Honestly, if people saw most successful adults 10 years earlier, they would be shocked.
Messy, confused, awkward, distracted.
Slightly dramatic.
Very dramatic.
But that is important for people to hear. Because many learners, many young people, many ambitious people look at others and think, wow, they have it all figured out. They were just born better. They naturally know what to do.
And most of the time, that is not true.
What you are seeing is often the result of skills. Quiet skills, invisible skills, skills people build behind the scenes.
So if you stay with us today, you will learn what those skills are, why they matter, and why mastering even one of them can start changing your life.
And the last one may be the most underrated of all.
So stay until the end for that one.
Nicely done.
All right, let's start with the first skill.
High-income communication.
That one is powerful.
Very powerful. Because many people think money comes from working harder. Sometimes it does. But often, money comes from communicating better.
Explain that.
The people who can explain ideas clearly, speak confidently, persuade others, lead conversations, and communicate value usually earn more.
Which makes sense. Because if you cannot express your value, many people will never see your value.
Exactly. You may be talented, smart, hardworking, but if you cannot communicate well, you may stay invisible.
And honestly, this is one reason learning English matters so much for many of our listeners.
Absolutely. For many people, English is not just a language. It is access. Access to better jobs, better opportunities, better education, better networks.
So every time you practice English, you are not just learning words. You are building communication power.
And that can change your future.
All right, skill number 2?
Deep focus.
The rare superpower of modern life.
Truly. In a world where everyone is distracted, the person who can focus deeply becomes extremely valuable.
Because most people cannot stay with one task for more than a few minutes now.
Their phone rings. A notification appears. They remember another task. They open 5 tabs. They start one thing and finish none.
And suddenly, they are watching a video about how penguins sleep.
Exactly.
But deep focus creates results. It creates better work, faster learning, better memory, more discipline.
Focus is becoming rarer, which means it is becoming more valuable.
Skill number 3?
Emotional control.
That one changes everything.
The person who controls their emotions has a huge advantage in life. Because many people are ruled by how they feel in the moment.
They quit when they feel tired. They explode when they feel angry. They give up when they feel discouraged. They avoid action when they feel afraid.
But emotionally strong people do not obey every feeling. They feel emotions without becoming controlled by them.
They pause before reacting.
They think before speaking.
They stay steady under pressure.
And that skill can save relationships, careers, opportunities, and years of regret.
Honestly, emotional control is one of those skills people underestimate until they see someone without it.
Very true.
And if you're enjoying this conversation so far, subscribe to the channel and join us for more real English conversations that help your English and your mindset grow.
And leave a like if this kind of content helps you learn better.
All right, Daniel, what is skill number 4?
Learning how to learn.
Ooh, that one is underrated.
Hugely underrated. Because school teaches people what to learn, but very few people are taught how to learn effectively.
How to remember better, how to practice smarter, how to study efficiently, how to improve faster.
The person who learns quickly can adapt to almost anything. New job? Learn it. New software? Learn it. New industry? Learn it. New language? Learn it.
Which means if you become a better learner, you become harder to replace.
Exactly.
And the 5th skill, the one you said might be the most underrated?
Sales and persuasion.
The second people hear sales, some of them get uncomfortable.
I know. People imagine some pushy person in a suit shouting, "Buy now!"
Very dramatic.
But persuasion is not manipulation. Persuasion is helping people understand value. It is influencing clearly. It is communicating in a way that moves people to action.
And honestly, everyone uses persuasion.
Every day. In job interviews, in business, in leadership, in relationships, even when convincing your friend to try your favorite restaurant.
Which I do aggressively.
We know.
So when you look at these 5 skills together, communication, focus, emotional control, learning how to learn, persuasion,
You start to realize something powerful.
your future is often less about luck and more about skills.
And the beautiful thing is, and here is something people do not talk about enough, Sarah. A lot of people are trying to change their future with the same habits that created their current life.
Oof, that one hurts a little.
Because it is true. They want a better life, but they keep spending every evening scrolling. They want confidence, but avoid uncomfortable conversations. They want success, but never train the skills success actually requires.
And I think that is an important phrase right there. Train the skills. Because these things we are talking about are not talents. They are not gifts you are born with. They are skills. And skills can be practiced.
Exactly. Nobody is born emotionally disciplined. Nobody is born focused for 6 hours. Nobody is born persuasive. Nobody comes out of the womb negotiating salary offers.
Imagine that. A newborn saying, "Actually, I believe my compensation package should reflect market value."
Terrifying baby would not babysit.
But seriously, if you remember one thing from this conversation, remember this. The future you want is hidden inside the skills you avoid practicing today.
Read that again in your mind.
The future you want is hidden inside the skills you avoid practicing today.
If communication scares you, practice speaking. If focus is hard, practice concentrating. If emotions control you, practice pausing. If learning feels difficult, practice learning better. If selling feels uncomfortable, practice influence.
Growth often feels uncomfortable because growth asks you to become someone new.
And becoming someone new is not dramatic. It is usually very boring, very repetitive, very quiet.
It is waking up and doing the hard thing again, and again, and again.
Even when nobody claps, even when nobody notices, even when the results are still invisible.
That is the strange part, isn't it? The most powerful improvements in life happen long before anyone else can see them.
A person studies communication for months before they sound confident. A person practices focus for weeks before they become disciplined. A person learns emotional control for years before people say, "Wow, you seem so calm."
And if you are in that invisible stage right now, if you are trying, learning, practicing, improving, and nobody notices yet,
Keep going.
Keep going.
Because private practice creates public results.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you. I do my best work when I am dramatic.
Clearly.
So, Sarah, if someone listening feels overwhelmed right now, if they are thinking, okay, these skills matter, but where do I even start? What would you tell them?
I would tell them this. Do not try to master all 5 at once. Pick the one skill that would most change your life if you improved it.
Beautiful advice.
Ask yourself, what is currently limiting me most? Is it poor communication? Lack of focus? Emotional reactions? Slow learning? Difficulty persuading others?
Because clarity creates momentum.
Then build a simple plan. Just 20 or 30 minutes a day. Consistent effort, small practice, no perfection.
And please hear this carefully. Do not wait until you feel motivated.
Because if you wait for motivation, you may wait forever.
Motivation is unreliable. Systems are reliable. Habits are reliable. Schedules are reliable.
The people who improve the fastest are not always the most talented. They are usually the most consistent.
They show up on the days they feel inspired. And they show up on the days they do not.
That is where transformation happens.
Not in giant moments. In ordinary days. Repeated well.
I think many people underestimate what 1 year of focused skill building can do.
1 year can change everything. The way you speak, the way you think, the way you earn, the way people see you, the way you see yourself.
A year from now, you could be more confident, more disciplined, more respected, more capable.
But only if you begin now.
Not next month. Not when life becomes easier. Not when motivation magically appears.
Start while it is messy. Start while you are busy. Start while you are uncertain.
Because clarity often comes after action, not before it.
That is one of my favorite truths.
You have many favorite truths.
I collect them.
Then here is one more for the people listening.
Go ahead.
The life you admire in others is usually built on skills they practiced when nobody was watching.
Remember that. Confidence is practiced. Discipline is practiced. Influence is practiced. Focus is practiced. Success is practiced.
So if this conversation helped you think differently today, take one notebook, one page, and write this question.
What skill, if mastered, would most change my future?
Write your answer, commit to it, and begin.
Also, if you enjoyed today's conversation, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who needs this reminder.
And tell us in the comments, which of these 5 skills are you working on right now?
We read your comments, we truly do, and we love seeing your progress.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep becoming the person your future needs.
We believe in you.
See you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.